Please take a moment to reflect on your duties as a senator. Thank you. You may be seated. Please use your clickers to mark your attendance. If you've just arrived, please hurry and get your packet and sign your name for attendance. We've already closed the roll call poll. The minutes from the previous meeting have been made available. Are there any corrections to the Senate Journal? Hearing none, the Senate Journal is approved as provided. We do not have any special guests today, so we will move into our open forum. Rule 34, Section 2 of the Senate says any student enrolled in Texas Tech University may address the Senate during open forum on any issue. If you would wish to address the Senate at this time, please rise to recognition from the chair.
Madam President?
The chair recognizes the student.
Yes, ma'am.
You may approach the podium.
Thank you.
Please state your name and academic college for the record.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Matter. Is it on?
It's just for the radio.
Okay, sounds good. My name is Adam Matter, computer engineering student here at Texas Tech. Once again, thank you for the opportunity for me to speak here. As many of you know, I was here last Senate meeting, and I was expressing some concerns that me and also fellow students had here at Texas Tech. And that same night, I received screenshots of Senator St. Clair social media posts that were posted minutes before the Senate meeting. As he said, and I quote, "About to shit on some Palestinian kids in Senate. I don't know what a Palestine is." And he also described what was going on in the meeting that day, and I quote, as so fucking gay. I would like to express how offended me and fellow students are here at Texas Tech, and especially that this came from a person that was elected to represent thousands of students, right? Many of whom might be Palestinian or have friends who are Palestinian. And as frustrated as I am today, I trust student government, and I also trust you, senators, to take the appropriate action towards this behavior, as it definitely crosses many violations, including the Texas Tech University Student Government Code of Ethics, Conduct, Section 2. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Trevor Wilkinson. Again, please state your name and academic college for the record.
Hi everyone, my name is Trevor Wilkinson, and I'm a part of the Honors College. Long time no see. I'm going to make this as short and sweet as I possibly can. As you just heard, later you will see a piece that is to censure Senator St. Clair for his intolerable statements on social media. As a former senator and as a student, I'm telling you all that that's not enough. It's important to note that these statements posted were made right before the Senate meeting as well as during. The statements made fun of students advocating for policy they wished SGA would have adopted, and therefore made a mockery of this position itself that told students we don't care about their voices. The statement made and subsequently the hateful rhetoric has the ability to perpetuate a corrupting power, and in order for SGA to stay true to its service to the student body, y'all must take strong and immediate action. Censuring, or also a slap on the wrist, does no good for this chamber or the student body. As a queer person, I was directly impacted by the hateful rhetoric that senator posted on social media. And as a senator, I also know that two communities face this hateful rhetoric every single day on campus. Our job as senators is to not perpetuate hateful rhetoric, it's to stop it. So let's do our job and let's do what needs to be done and make sure that this body is actually representative of everybody at Texas Tech. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any other students wish to speak during open forum at this time? Hearing none, we'll move out of open forum. Next on our agenda is executive reports, starting with Student Body President Joel Rivero.
Good evening, everyone. I just have a few points to report on, starting with the runoff elections the results will be posted today after the Senate meeting at 7:30, where we had the election results last time 2 weeks ago, right before spring break. So come out to that if you want to hear the next external vice president and who will serve y'all next year. Following that, I just wanted to give y'all an update on the Raider mobile ID. So we've had many conversations with administration about this initiative. This is something that's been talked about for many, many years. As you all know, that a lot of campaigns run on this, so we really wanted to make sure that we had this conversation and start that conversation.
Sorry, we're trying to fix something with the live stream. Thank you for your patience as we figure out the live stream.
You can dim the lights on the screen. You can't see the slide. It's on the panel on the wall.
You hit presentation.
Yeah, just hit presentation and shine.
Thank you.
That's presentation.
Okay, I'll just continue, I guess. But this initiative, we wanted to make sure that we had the conversations with faculty about. So we've been really pushing them. I know that a lot of times they kind of wait administrations out until May. We actually had a conversation recently, and they're meeting with IT to discuss potential avenues. So we're hoping to really get an answer by the end of this year. And if not, we'll pass it along to the next administration to ensure that gets continued. But we just wanted to give you an update on that it's still being worked on. It's just a little bit slow at the moment. Next up, I won't touch on this too much. I think that they're going to mention this a little bit more later. But Green Week, Amanda Pogue and Kate Thurman have been working on this, so they'll touch on this. But this is going to be in April, the week of Arbor Day. Next up, we have Joint Congress. If you haven't already RSVP'd, feel free to do so. We're still wanting y'all to come out to that. That's just a joint session, kind of like a Senate meeting, but a Senate meeting with all of the TTU system student government associations, where we pass 3 pieces of legislation that will impact all of our institutions. And if you haven't already given us ideas, feel free to fill out that form that I sent out in the group me. If not, I can send that out tonight again. We really want to hear what y'all want to pass, and something that really would embody what the system needs to work on as a whole. So that'll be April 13th. Come out to that. And I think that we're actually also having something that Friday. I think that the student regent wanted to have something fun for the SGA members to come out to. I'll give y'all more information as I hear, but that should be something that y'all can look forward to. And then OER Awards Committee, if y'all are interested in being in that committee, fill out that form that Hunter sent out. I know that some of y'all emailed me, but feel free to fill out that form as well. We've gotten over 48 submissions, so that's pretty good. Something I didn't really expect that we'd get that many of. But just feel free to spread that word. We want to acknowledge the faculty that help us out with reducing that cost. And then the grad walk, we're still working on that. 2 of our cabinet members, Maggie Davis and Will McVicker, have been working hard on that, and I think that that'll be completed hopefully by the end of this month to just get that out of the way, and we can recognize our seniors at the day before graduation. And I think that that'll be May 9th. If you want to help out with that, feel free to do so. Let us know. But that's mainly going to be the next session, since our session will end April 30th. But next up, I also wanted to give an update on language inclusive signage. Sorry, I said brief, and this is taking a little bit longer. But language inclusive signage, this is something that we're really thinking that will happen. We're going to pass that with it's now the Project Allocation Council, but it used to be the Facilities Allocation Council. And it's just a way to incorporate that into their operating procedures, so that new signage comes in both English and Spanish, and we're working to get a QR code. Obviously, that piece is being presented today on second reading, so I urge y'all to pass that just to express the sentiments of the students, but we're working on getting bilingual signage around campus just to be more friendly to our visitors and our students that may not understand English as well as another language. So we're super excited about that, and super excited to be able to say that we were able to get that done, but still working on it, and we'll provide an update whenever we get that done. But that's all that I have.
Thank you, Joel. Next, we'll hear from External Vice President Kendall Taylor.
Hi everybody, I hope that you all had a great and restful spring break. I have a couple of announcements. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about were our outreach opportunities that we have coming up. We have become a voter deputy registrar. We really need some people to get registered to do this. The last day to register as a Lubbock County voter for the next local elections is April 4th. And so we have a couple of times that we want to do some big pushes on campus to get people registered to vote in Lubbock. So we would love your help, and that's an outreach point if you do that. And also if you want to work the polls, it's really good money and great times, honestly. And then another outreach opportunity that we don't have up there right now, we're actually having a town hall next Wednesday, and so if y'all want to go to that, it's after Preston's SORC meeting, so I'm sure that will get touched on later, but if y'all want to come to that, that's going to be an outreach opportunity. And then for service opportunities that we have coming up, we have the Cesar Chavez Highway Cleanup on Saturday. We would love to see y'all there. I know a lot of the exec team is going to try to be there for that, so we would love to see your faces. And then TLC Day is going to be April 6th. It's going to be 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Red Raider Plaza is where we're going to start. And so we're going to do check-in there, donuts and coffee, get t-shirts, and then we'll bus students to different locations. I've sent the South Plains Food Bank sign up in the GroupMe, and so that's the one that we need the most signups for as soon as possible, but we'll follow up with a flyer and links to the rest of the signups as well if something else is more appealing to you. And then also there is a feminine product drive that ends March 26th. March is Women's Herstory Month, feminine product drive, and all the products will be donated to the Lubbock Women's Shelter. And so those are boxes of tampons, pads, panty liners, but each one box is 1 point, and we're capping it at 1 point just because we do need y'all to participate in some other service events that we have coming up. But feel free to bring more. We hope you bring more to help out for this event. But those are all of the updates that I have. They'll all be included in Emily's message tomorrow, and I'll send them out in the GroupMe. Please contact me if y'all have any questions about anything, and have a great Senate.
Thank you, Kendall. Next on our agenda is the judicial reports. However, there are no judicial reports at this time, so we will move into my remarks. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone had a great spring break. It's nice to see everyone here, and now that election season is over, I'm sure everyone has a lot of weight off their shoulders, so excited to finish this session strong. Something I just wanted to bring to y'all that I think was pretty inspiring to me as I finish out my term is that people don't remember how you start something, it's how you finish it. So even if you were the most active and engaged senator at the beginning, but you've kind of like fallen off now, just keep that in mind. Your students care about how you finish, and the things that you vote on and the initiatives that you enact are very important. So just wanted to place that on y'all's minds, and hopefully that can be something that inspires you as we continue throughout the rest of this session, because it's not over yet. Speaking of that, there is only 2 more Senate meetings for this session after tonight. So to go through the proper legislative process, all legislation needs to be submitted for meeting 15, our next meeting. So really important that you're buckling down on that legislation and getting some research done, and that kind of flows into my next point. Talking about legislation, obviously doing the proper research is really important. Reaching out to people, having those meetings, getting student feedback. However, I do want to remind you that at the end of the day, the resolution is stating the sentiments of the Student Senate. So if you have a really great idea that you just don't have the bandwidth right now to gather all this data and research, reach out to your fellow students, some constituents that you serve, and if you see this is an idea that they really do want, it would be a great idea to go ahead and write a resolution about it, even if you haven't done 6 months of research about it, just so the faculty and staff that might be over this issue has the chance to see, hey, students do want this, because it might be an issue that they already have in the back of their mind, but they're waiting for students to show that they want that. So just encouragement to you all. I know at the beginning of the year we really stressed having really good quality legislation, which I think you all have done a great job at, but remember that we also want to just show what the students want to decision makers on campus. And then the next announcement I have is the Wednesday tabling that I've been sending out. Thank you all to everyone that has participated in that. I think it's been really successful. Something unique that will happen next Wednesday is going to be Tech Alert Day. So I'm sure you all got the practice Tech Alert message today. Tech Alert and the people that are in charge of that want to do a large push to the student body because obviously as student government, it should be one of our priorities to promote safety on campus. And Tech Alert really does help that. So you will be tabling to promote Tech Alert, hand out some goodies, things like that. So sign up for that. I've sent it out already, but it will be in my email tomorrow as well. So make sure you sign up for that. And then the next thing is submitting your points. So if you've participated in any sort of service event that SGA has not put on, that Kendall hasn't put on, or any sort of external outreach option, make sure you are sending that to me. That way we can get you marked down. RNA, I know, is going to be starting membership review for this semester, so if you're lacking in any point areas, they will likely be reaching out to you within this next week so they can check and make sure that you're able to get those points and on your absences and stuff as well. So if you have any questions about that, please just let me know. If you're a graduating senior in any branch of SGA, I will be sending out a form in the Senate recap email tomorrow, and that will have everything that I need to know so we can highlight you at banquet, and that way I can get you your cord or your medal as a graduating senior for May, August, or December. So keep that in mind. Please get that done. And then finally, SGA merch. I'm sure y'all have seen us send this to y'all many times, but we have some sweatshirts and t-shirts out right now. The link closes at midnight tonight, so please make sure after this Senate meeting you get on ordering that. That way we can all represent SGA on campus. I think that's all I have. Yeah. With that being said, that is all the remarks I have. And the next on our agenda is routine motions and other business. Senator Grigsbell.
Hey everyone, thank you all for being here. I hope you're on a great spring break. Over the past few weeks, the RNA committee has been conducting interviews for new senators, and we're happy to welcome Ashton Rocky as an at-large senator and Sam Milford as an engineering senator. So stick around after the meeting, get to know them a little bit, but we're excited to have them in this session.
Thank you. And with that being said, we'll actually swear in our new senators. So if you'll please rise and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby solemnly swear that I shall faithfully execute the duties of the office. I shall, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Student Government Association of Texas Tech University and the regulations which may be made in pursuance thereof. Awesome, congratulations. That one's tricky to get through. And one more thing that I might add, especially for our new senators, and if you were recently sworn in as a senator, I do have our Senator lapel pins up here. So if you don't have one, please come up and see me after Senate. That way I can get you your proper lapel pin. With that being said, we will move into our committee reports. Senator Adamek.
President, I move that we suspend the rules of the Senate so that we can skip committee reports.
Seconded by Senator Ramirez that we suspend the standing rules requiring us to read committee reports. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We will skip committee reports and move into our first reading, starting with Senate Resolution 59.143.
I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 59.143. May I put the podium?
You may.
Hi y'all, so Senate Resolution 59.143 is basically just trying to expand the number of 2-hour parking spaces in the R13 parking lot, which is the library parking lot, just trying to eliminate the walk that you would have to make in order to go study at the library or even go to the sub. We've of course written this piece alongside FYLA as something that we kind of do every year. So with that, I move to place Senate Resolution 59.143 on second reading and sent to all committees.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Auer that we place Senate Resolution 59.143 on second reading and sent to all committees. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. Please vote in the polls. With the majority in favor, motion passes. Senate Resolution 59.144.
Madam President, I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 59.144. May I please put it?
You may.
Good evening, y'all. Ramadan Mubarak for those of us who are fasting. I just wanted to, this time I have a word count. It said I would get it done in 3 minutes, so just so you know. I wanted to make 2 points about this piece itself, stating the sentiments of Student Senate regarding the immediate withdrawal of Dr. Jairo I. Funes Flores and his suspension. First and foremost, I heard in some conversations that there was a parallel being drawn between Senator Sinclair's remarks and the censorship that is underwhelming, but being imposed upon him, as well as the what happened with Professor Funes Flores. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So Senator Sinclair's free speech was hateful speech, so just providing that distinction. And therefore, some of those consequences, just like he said, free speech isn't freedom of consequence, just like he said, in response to that are in progress. And I wanted to point out that the dehumanizing language that he used to question literal existence of Palestinians adds to the harmful language that has been used for harassment and oppression for the past several months, as well as 75 years, if you look at the history. And that form of rhetoric should not be accepted at all, any way, shape, or form. Now, when you look at Dr. Funes Flores' free speech, that is critical speech. It was furthermore separating him from his, it separated from his professional identity, and it was allowed, as per the faculty handbook says. I've heard some folks saying that having these conversations in the Student Senate is pointless, so I kind of wanted to just point that out, that this piece is coming about to express student support to highlight that the culture of Texas Tech as a university shouldn't censor what is a critical speech on a personal platform. So to make this distinction clear, Senator Sinclair made dehumanizing, hateful comments.
Senator Javid, please keep the rhetoric to your piece alone.
Alrighty, I'm just trying to draw that parallel and make that distinction. Those have consequences, as per his own words, and this is as opposed to that professor who expressed personal political opinions, not targeted towards people, but rather criticizing a government through a non-TTU platform that is allowed, as per the handbook. Now, last point is to emphasize that there is no need to wait on this investigation. This does not relate to the fundamentals of this piece about free speech. I've heard some conversations as well about providing like a back and forth of if the president of the United States said something like this, would it reflect badly onto America as a country? Should he be censored? So I kind of wanted to clarify this point that it seems to be really hard to understand for some reason that this is a free speech violation for a professor of TTU that falls under the rules and regulation of the faculty handbook, as outlined if you look at the piece by not only the mission in lines 18 through 22, but also the faculty handbook on lines 28 through 29. Whereas the faculty handbook specifies that each faculty member is also a citizen of the nation, state, and community, and when speaking, writing, or acting as an individual citizen, must be free from institutional censorship or discipline. That's the point we want to point out. So, the same way the president in his position and authority has a set of rules and regulations that he follows, so does this professor. And there they are, those words. It's not up to personal interpretation. Those are the words. So I strongly encourage you all to understand the literal violation that has occurred that we're calling out for action, instead of blurring the lines and bringing up your stance on Palestine. Understanding what the faculty handbook says shows that we don't need to be caught up in waiting for the investigation or evaluating the code of ethics, but rather recognize that Texas Tech is being inconsistent with its own policies, not following them, which in turn reflects a precedent for the students that has a chilling effect if we let it pass by and don't do anything about it. So this piece, with that, I encourage y'all to critically think and make that distinction and allow for this piece to be sent to second reading. I wanted to make sure that y'all were aware that it's going to be sent to second reading. We're not pushing for it to go to third, so that y'all can facilitate those discussions within your committees. Even reach out to us authors. If you, for some reason, need some more clarification, we will be more than happy to help and be a part of those conversations. So with that, Madam President, I move to place Senate Resolution 59.144 on second reading and sent to all committees.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Almosa that we place Senate Resolution 59.144 on second reading and sent to all committees. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. Please vote in the polls. With majority in favor, motion passes. Senate Resolution 59.145. Senator Grigsbell.
I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 59.145.
You may.
Hey everyone, thank you all for being here. Senate Resolution 59.145 just talks about the restoration of landscaping in front of Davis College buildings along 15th Street, or also known as Ag Row. This is a high traffic commuting area for students in MCOM going to the sub or anywhere else on campus. And if you notice, there's not a lot of landscaping outside of it, specifically outside of the landscape architecture department. And so Davis College senators have been having meetings with Dean Crable as well as Robert Cox. And most recently, Dr. Loon, who's the landscape architect department chair and professor, about how we can incorporate students in the landscape architecture department to make sure that we can get this going, whether this is through next year as an Ag Service Day or through the Arbor Day efforts that the university holds. And so you can go through and read this piece, but I encourage all to vote so that we can get some landscaping in front of Davis College buildings on 15th Street. And with that, Madam President, I move to place Senate Resolution 59.145 on second reading.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Campbell that we place Senate Resolution 59.145 on second reading and sent to all committees. The motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. Please vote in the polls. With a majority in favor, motion passes. Senate Resolution 59.146. Senator Clark.
Madam President, I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 59.146. May I approach the podium?
You may.
Good afternoon, everyone. Senate Resolution 59.146 is addressing and calling for the immediate censure and order of public apology of Senator Andrew Sinclair. Last week, the Rules and Administration Committee was informed and sent information on social media posts revolving around a Student Government Association event, which was the Senate meeting held on March 7th, 2024. These social media posts were in regards to that, and because of this and the immediate concern, Senator Andrew Sinclair was placed on immediate membership review by the Rules and Administration Committee. His hearing took place on Monday, March 18th, this past Monday, where he was questioned about the incident, and the Rules and Administration Committee was to make a conclusion on this offense. During this meeting and hearing, the Rules and Administration Committee only explicitly referred to the Texas Tech University Student Government Association Code of Ethics and Conduct, the Constitution, and as well as the rules of the Senate, ensuring fairness and adherence to due process, which did happen. Upon the conclusion, extensive questioning, and deliberation, the Rules and Administration Committee determined that Senator Sinclair was in fact in violation of the Texas Tech University Student Code of Ethics and Conduct, Section 2, Responsibility to Standards of Personal Integrity and Civic Behavior, as befits a member of the governing body of the Student Government Association, as well as subsection 3, Student Government officials shall behave, A, demonstrate professional and personal conduct that is above reproach, and shall refrain from abusive conduct, personal charges, or verbal attacks upon the character or motives of fellow SGA members, boards, committees, and commissions, as well as university administrators, faculty, staff, and student body. Because of this Rules and Administration Committee deems it fit and appropriate to reprimand Senator Andrew Sinclair through censure and requires a public apology to be issued to all relevant parties. Please be aware that I will be making a motion to put this place on third and final passage. Please hold your questions until that point. Madam President, I move to suspend the standing rules that require all motions or all legislation be placed on second reading and sent to committees.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Orr that we suspend the rules of the Senate. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Rules are now suspended.
Madam President, I move to place Senate Resolution 59.146 on third reading and final passage.
Moved and seconded by Senator Adamek that we place Senate Resolution 59.146 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate? Senator Sinclair.
I would just like to say I'm aware my statements were wrong, and I do have a public apology plan for the appropriate time for senators to be able to speak. I encourage everybody to pass this piece. I do believe that I should be punished, and I believe that RNA did make a correct decision in motioning to censure me, and I do encourage everybody to vote yes on this.
Thank you. Is there any other debate? Hearing none, we'll now proceed to vote. Please vote in the polls. With majority in favor, motion passes. Senator Adamek.
Madam President, I move to impeach Senator Andrew Sinclair for multiple clear violations of the SGA Code of Ethics. I do not believe that Senate Resolution 59.146 on first reading, or now passed, goes beyond a simple slap on the wrist, and we as a collective body need to set a precedent for how we respond to clear hate speech. We cannot allow anyone to mock students advocating for their beliefs through Islamophobic or homophobic statements on social media. I urge you to stand against hate and uphold our code of ethics.
Is there a second? It has been moved and seconded by Senator Almosa that we carry on with the motion of impeaching Senator Sinclair for the following reasons. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. Is there any debate? Senator Sinclair, as you are under an impeachment trial, your hearing has begun in this debate session, so you may speak first if you wish.
Obviously, my statements were abhorrent, they were terrible, I shouldn't have said those things, and I truly am sorry. As I've said previously, I do have an apology prepared for the end of this meeting. However, I believe that impeachment is too far. I believe that it just doesn't make sense with this timeline. I did not win re-election. I'm not able to serve a full term in the next session. Also, I don't have plans to run for re-election as a graduate student if that's the path that I do choose. I recognize the hate that was behind my post and how it offended and hurt many parties, and I take full responsibility for that. However, I do not believe that impeachment is the right move here, and I hope the rest of the Senate recognizes it.
Thank you. Is there any further debate? Senator Almosa.
Madam President, I concur with this impeachment and want to express my disappointment regarding the behavior exhibited by Senator Sinclair. As a Middle Eastern American senator serving my constituents, I am compelled to address the remarks made by Senator Sinclair, which not only reflect poorly on the university, but also pose a threat to the inclusivity and respect that should characterize our institution. Senator Sinclair's remarks are offensive and demonstrate a shocking lack of empathy and understanding. His derogatory statements display a complete disregard for the dignity and humanity of others. His ignorance regarding the Palestinian people and their plight is deeply troubling, particularly in light of the ongoing humanitarian crisis and violence faced by Palestinians. Senator Sinclair's dismissive and insensitive attitude towards the suffering of the Palestinian people is not only disrespectful, but also perpetuates a culture of discrimination, adding to the national and statewide rise of anti-Palestinianism and Islamophobia. We must condemn such behavior in the strongest possible terms and take decisive action to uphold the values of tolerance and respect within our community. We must send a clear message that dehumanizing speech and intolerance have no place in our community, and those who engage in such behavior will be held accountable for those actions. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further debate? Senator Keffi, sorry.
Hello. I'd like to concur with Senator Almosa's statements. Texas Tech University prides itself on fostering an environment of inclusivity, diversity, and respect for all individuals. Senator Sinclair's online posts go against these principles and tarnish the reputation of our university. Such hate speech, discrimination based on nationality, country of origin, hateful speech based on sexual orientation, and threats to minors are not protected based on the First Amendment. Therefore, it is crucial that we take appropriate measures to uphold the integrity of our Senate and ensure that such misconduct is not overlooked. Thank you.
Senator Sinclair.
Just for clarification purposes, my posts were not meant to be taken in a literal fashion. There was never any threat or intent to do any sort of action behind any of my statements, because some people took that quite literally. I just do not believe that these posts were not meant to be taken seriously in the way that they were written. So.
Thank you. Senator Adamek.
So I've been in SGA for 4 years. I've seen a lot of amazing people come through SGA, and I've seen a lot of real change come through SGA because of these amazing people. SGA is a model of our campus. If we are staying true to our campus motto of striving for honor, then SGA should reflect that. We shouldn't, regardless of intention, words have power, words have meaning. Hate speech, regardless if it's a joke, is still hate speech. Doesn't matter. We as a student body need to stand together and signal to not only the the people in this room, but people outside of this room, how their student government and their elected officials respond to hate speech. One of the photos that was taken by Senator St. Clair was of the Senate room. It was of people in this room. And he said, "This is so fucking gay," with people in this room. That's a clear violation of your duty as a senator. I'm sorry. Regardless, no rational person would be making these comments. So you're in an elected position, act like it. So that's why we moved for impeachment.
Thank you. Is there any further debate? Senator Wiley.
I just have 2 questions. The Rules and Administration Committee, did y'all find he was acting in his official capacity as a senator when he made those statements?
Do the RNA chairs wish to respond?
Can you repeat that question again, please?
Did you find at the time he made those statements he was acting in his official capacity as a senator?
Oh, the time of the post?
Yes.
Yes, one of them was taken within the Senate chamber, and we do have proof of that photo.
And then also, do you have the statements? We keep referencing them. I'd like to actually be able to see them while we're talking about them, given that we have said a lot of things, hate speech. We've talked about how he's made an entire country appear to not exist. I'd like to have the statements up because I no longer know what he exactly said. This is the first time I've heard of it.
Of course.
And those are my 2 questions.
I can definitely get that. We do not have that printed out, but we do have proof of it, if we would like to get that.
No, by all means. I first I've heard of it, and I would like to have something to reference.
Is there a motion to recess so we can get that information for the Senate? Senator Sustak.
Motion for I move for a 10-minute recess.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Bradford, that we have a recess. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. We will now begin our 10-minute recess and be back in our seats in the chamber at 6:47. meeting will be called back to order. As a reminder, the question before us is to impeach Senator Sinclair. We are in the middle of debate at this time. Senator Griffin.
Madam President, I rise to a point of order. So according to Rule 20, Section 4 of the Rules of the Senate, wouldn't this, since this business wasn't on the agenda, require a 4/5 majority?
Since this isn't a resolution that we're bringing before, it's a separate motion, it wouldn't. I believe in the rule that you're referencing, that's specifically referencing the resolutions that's brought before the chamber. That was not explicitly put on the agenda on a calendar by RNA. Senator Griffin.
Just a parliamentary inquiry. So for impeachment, then it can be either a resolution or a motion. Like there's two categories for it.
So as per Rule 8, Section 6, it talks about any senator has the power to bring up a motion of impeachment after the RNA committee has already taken action. So the action we saw by RNA committee tonight was the piece on censure and requiring a public apology. Whether that passed or failed, that was Rules and Administrations Committee's due diligence, if you will. So at that time, after we've seen that due diligence, any senator is allowed to either drop a resolution about impeachment or make a motion on impeachment. This is also directed by the SGA director. I had extensive conversations with him about this, but I know this is a confusing situation, so if you have any more questions, please continue to ask. Senator Keller.
I have a point of inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Could we hear from people at RNA and things like, did they have the option to do more than just censure him, or was that their only option? And then, are there any other punishments, any other sort of information that they did? Because the piece wasn't that detailed, and I feel like there may or may not be more. So could we hear from RNA?
For further clarification, the chair would advise that the Senate goes into an executive session to have more extensive conversations about the details of that committee meeting as well as the details of the social media posts. Senator Orr.
Madam President, I motion for executive session.
This motion requires 5 seconds, seconded by Senator Barrera, Senator Vega, Senator Shipp, Senator Lamb, and Senator Wiley. This motion is debatable with a 3-minute pro-con debate and unamendable and requires a majority vote. If someone wishes to speak on the pro side for 3 minutes of why we should go into executive session, will you please rise? Does anyone wish to speak in negation for 3 minutes on why we shouldn't go into executive session? Please rise. Hearing none, we'll now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. We are now moving into executive session. If you are not a senator or someone sitting at this table, we do please ask that you exit the room now. Executive session is closed chamber. Our Sergeant of Arms will let you know when the chamber is open again. Thank you. reminder, the question before us is the impeachment of Senator Sinclair. We recently just went into executive session. Now we are out of executive session. There is still debate allowed on the floor for this motion, and then we will move to a vote. Is there any debate? Senator Shipp.
Okay, so I would just like to make a point that there are people on the wait list for arts and sciences that are dying to be in the same position. I personally wasn't initially a senator. I moved up on the list, RNA messaged me, and I happily accepted that request. There are people that want to positively impact the student body and have initiatives lined up if they were to be elected. So I have a question for Senator Sinclair. If you weren't to be impeached, what are your initiatives moving forward, and what is your current standing as a senator in terms of meeting the requirements?
Senator Sinclair, do you wish to address the chamber?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the floor.
So, as I stated in executive session, I've already reached out to Senator Javid. That way I can organize meetings with the offended parties, and I can apologize to them individually and in person. I plan on actively educating myself on this issue. I know it's a very complicated and very touchy subject, and obviously my comments did not reflect a deep understanding of the conflict that is ongoing. I've made it clear that I am remorseful of my statements. I've never once stated that I did not think that what I posted was not okay. I've taken 100% responsibility. I'm actively being proactive, and I will, if I am not impeached, I will be taking a proactive motion to go and apologize to these groups. So that's my plan moving forward, and if the Senate would like to see more than just that, I'm happy to hear out different educational resources you might recommend, different things you would like to see done of me due to this censorship being given to me. So I'm open to hearing all ideas of different ways I can attempt to make up for my actions. So
Thank you.
hopefully that answers your question.
Is there any further debate? Senator Sestak.
Yeah, so I would just like to clarify two things. One, the amount on the wait list isn't relevant to this situation necessarily. That we're discussing Andrew Sinclair's position within this. I don't think that has any relevance on this. And then the second part is that I talked to Andrew at the of course when I got taken down, and I was like, that was stupid, you shouldn't do this. Then I asked him, I was like, you should probably resign. It's a poor showing of SGA. It's not a great thing or a great look. And you did something that is quite as we
Senator
discussed.
Sestak, please keep the debate to the motion at hand.
Absolutely. I think it says a lot about this impeachment that he's willing to go forward and try to actually correct his actions, something that rarely people do. A lot of people would just step down. They would leave, they would abandon ship, because this is a very heavily politicized topic. As someone trying to go into that space, he is someone that is caring about his reputation. But he took the moral drive forward to actually try to correct, try to reach out, and he plans on continuing to try to reach out, as he has stated throughout this entire thing, and as many people have echoed. I think that is really important moving forward, and I think it's really important that we actually evaluate this and try to make a judge of whether we can make up for these mistakes, or whether moving forward we think that this is absolutely not something that we should deal with whatsoever. So that would be my comments.
Thank you, Senator Sestak. Senator Keffi.
Senator Sinclair, I appreciate you acknowledging that you made a mistake. However, I was stopped by a student today in class, a classmate, and they did mention that they saw your post. They were offended, as well as other
Senator
students.
Keffi, please address the entire chamber, not one singular senator.
As well as other students within my class, sorry. And they were also asking me if this is really how the Student Government Association presents itself, how the senators are. And that just concerns me individually too, because I really do believe that the Student Government Association is an amazing organization to represent the student body, and we should represent the student body in a positive manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Lamb.
Everybody's been talking about responsibility, that senators need to uphold responsibility. What he's doing exactly right now is the definition of responsibility. He's taking responsibility. He is his actions. He knows they were wrong, and he's taking responsibility for them. I just think impeaching him would just not allow him to take responsibility. He just throws him out of the chamber. It does absolutely nothing for us. It does nothing for anybody. And with that's it.
Orr.
I motion for previous question.
Previous question requires 5 seconds. It's been seconded by Senator Geiswhite, Senator Franco, Senator Vega, Senator Catherine Van, Senator Arrett. This motion is debatable with 3 minutes pro con debate on either side, unamendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. Would anyone like to speak in affirmation on why we should move to previous question for 3 minutes? Senator Keller.
I really think we've heard everything. We've been talking about this for like, I don't know, an hour or something. I mean, I doubt that there's anything that we have not heard yet. So I think we should just vote.
Thank you. Would anyone like to speak in negation of the previous question for 3 minutes? Hearing none, the previous question is called. We'll now proceed to vote. Senator Orr,
Parliamentary inquiry.
please state your inquiry.
So if you vote abstain on this, does that count for the noes or is it just completely negated?
If you abstain from the vote, it does not count in the vote at all. The only thing considered in the 2/3 majority vote is the yeses and nos. With no further questions, we will now move into the vote. Please vote in the polls. All those in favor of previous question, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. We will move to previous question. Since the previous question has been called, we will now vote on the question on the floor, which is to impeach Senator Sinclair. Please vote in the polls. With not 2/3 majority in favor, motion fails. Next on our agenda, our calendar, Senate Resolution 59.132. Senator Vega, Senator Bentley, Senator Ragsdale. Senator Vega, you have the floor.
I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 59.132. Can I have first reading?
You may.
As spoken about during executive reports, we want to implement language inclusive signage across Texas Tech University, with this being done through either QR codes or just upon the arrival of the next school year. So as this was spoken about this last Senate meeting, I motion to place Senate Resolution 59.132 on 3rd reading.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Moreno that we place Senate Resolution 59.132 on 3rd reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Please vote in the polls. With majority in favor, motion passes. Senate Resolution 59.133, Senator Bentley.
Madam President, I rise to reintroduce Senate Resolution 59.133.
You may. While Senator Bentley makes his way up, first years, you are allowed to leave at this time if you wish. Senator Bentley, you have the floor.
I'm going to wait for it. But thank you all very much. This piece is very straightforward. Senator Huffman and I met with Charles Leatherwood, the managing director of grounds here at Texas Tech University, to implement a welcome sign similar to what we see at University and 19th, as well as 19th and Boston, at the intersection of 19th and Flint on the east side, so the Talkington side. This will just make our campus more welcoming and beautiful for prospective students and families. So with that being said, Madam President, I move to place this piece on 3rd reading and final passage.
It has been moved and seconded to place the piece on 3rd reading and final passage. Senator Clark? Are you second? Okay, seconded by Senator Clark. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Please vote in the polls. majority in favor, motion passes. Senate Resolution 59.134.
Madam President, I rise to reintroduce Senate Resolution 59.134. May I first vote?
You may.
So Senate Resolution 59.134 is regarding Kasner, which was what the former name of the Davis College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. There's still a building called the Kasner Annex, and so to honor the generous gift of $44 million by Dr. Gordon W. Davis, we suggest changing the name of the Kasner Annex to the Davis College Annex. And with that, Madam President, I move to place Senate Resolution 59.134 on third reading and final passage.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Geiswhite that we place Senate Resolution 59.134 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Please vote in the polls. With majority in favor, motion passes. Senate Resolution 59.135, Senator Agarwal.
Madam President, I rise to reintroduce Senate Resolution 59.135. May I first vote?
You may.
Very eventful Senate meeting. As introduced by Senator Griffin last week, this piece, 2 weeks ago, this piece is just about getting physical nutrition labels in our dining halls across campus so students have knowledge about what they're ingesting, just in case they want to know that knowledge. Although it's publicly available in PDFs, that may be too difficult for some to find, and this will make it easily accessible and transparent. With that, Madam President, I move to place Senate Resolution 59.135 on third reading and final passage.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Shipp that we place Senate Resolution 59.135 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. Is there any debate? Senator Ramirez.
This is a right-click friendly amendment and it doesn't even deal with the majority body of this, but the first sponsor list, my name is misspelled.
Thank you. Noted by the Journal Clerk. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Please vote in the polls. With majority in favor, motion passes. Senate Resolution 59.136. Senator Griffin.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to reintroduce Senate Resolution 59.136. May I first vote?
You may.
So in our conversation with students, concern arose regarding the process of registration for My Team Care, which is a platform student health services use to schedule appointments and keep track of important medical information for student patients. As a result, some students have chosen urgent care centers over student health resources because of the process for registering for My Team Care, as well as finding and uploading previous medical records can be cumbersome and confusing. So in order to help students become more aware of healthcare resources paid by their tuition, we discussed with the Director of Student Health Services the possible strategies to help bring more awareness and information about this vital student resource and the processes behind them. So as a result of our discussion with Student Health and the students of Texas Tech, we would like to advocate for Student Health Services to use proactive communication strategies such as using tech accounts and social media to emphasize the importance and awareness of registering for My Team Care and highlighting important student health resources offered so students can make more informed decisions regarding their healthcare needs. With that, I move to place this piece on third reading and final passage.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Vega that we place Senate Resolution 59.136 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires a majority vote. Is there any debate? Senator Ramirez.
Hello, part two, my name is misspelled.
Thank you. Noted by the Journal Clerk. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, we'll now proceed to vote. With majority in favor, motion passes. Senate Resolution 59.137.
Madam President, I rise to reintroduce Senate Resolution 59.137.
You may.
everyone. So as you know, it's customary that the directors of the first year programs, first year council, and first year leadership association each year work with their respective programs to craft a piece of legislation that the students who are in the first year council or first year leadership association deem as important. This year, Senator Bradford and I worked with first year council, and they decided to bring up the concerns regarding our university affiliated housing. So 23% of undergraduate enrolled students live and reside in college-owned, operated, or affiliated housing. That's 7,493 students. And of those students that have been surveyed, 74% of them reported experiencing health concerns, including but not limited to bed bugs and dust within the dorms or other student-affiliated housing. So as a university, it's really important that we prioritize the health and physical safety of our students. So please pass this piece. With that being said, Madam President, I move to place this piece on third reading and final passage.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Bradford that we place Senate Resolution 59.137 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Please vote in the polls. With majority in favor, motion passes. Now moving on to the consent calendar. If you are presenting a consent calendar, please approach the podium. Starting with Senate Resolution 59.147. Senator Auer, you have the floor.
Hi, this piece just congratulates the students who placed in the real estate and banking case competition that was held on the Rawls College of Business on February 29th. These students had 3 weeks to make a redevelopment plan for a site on the market in Lubbock, Texas, including an analysis, a pro forma model, an executive summary, and a presentation that was made in front of bankers from Citibank. The 20 students who placed in this competition worked very hard and deserve this recognition, and congratulations from the Senate.
Thank you, Senator Auer.
Okay, y'all, so this piece is congratulating the Texas Tech track program on their performance at the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. They competed on March 9th, and we took members from the men's and women's team. The men's team earned a total of 50.5 points and won their second national title, which is pretty awesome considering we only have 3 at the school, so 2 being track is cool. Yes, with that being said, I motion to place Senate Resolution 59.147 and 59.148 on third reading and final passage.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Thurman that we place the consent calendar on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and must pass with a 100% vote. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote on the consent calendar. Please vote in the polls. The consent calendar. Senator Grigsbill, what is your vote? With 100% passage, consent calendar passes. Next, moving on to announcements. If any senator wishes to make any relevant announcements to the chamber at this time, please rise for recognition. Senator Sinclair.
I have a public apology I'd like to make under the prepared statement. May I approach the podium?
You may.
Good evening, fellow senators. I'm here tonight to issue my most sincere apologies for my statements made. My statements made were abhorrent, they were terrible, they're inexcusable. And I understand the sentiment tonight was to impeach me, and I promise I will not take the decision tonight for granted. I am deeply aware that my actions were wrong. I should not have said those things. They should not have been posted to social media in any fashion. It was completely and totally unexcusable, and I'm 100% aware of that. As I've stated in my defenses, I do plan on reaching out to affected parties. I have already reached out to Senator Javid. That way I can meet with the Palestinian students here on campus and the Palestinian affiliated senators in here as well. That way I can apologize to them sincerely and personally. Obviously, an apology can't do everything. It cannot undo the harm that I have done, and I will be reaching out to other senators and other groups on campus who were affected by my posts in order to apologize to them, and I will be taking the time to educate myself on these complicated and pressing issues, and I would just like your, I don't even know the word to say. I would just ask for forgiveness in any facet that you could give me for my actions, and I will not make these mistakes again, and I will be educating myself. So if there's anything you would like to see from me personally, feel free to send me an email. I have the same TTU email as other students, or message me privately on social media. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Sinclair. Are there any more announcements for the chamber? Ryan.
As a note, I spoke with Director Gunn for SGA, and he explained that the voting records for impeachments are anonymous, so this is as far as that will go. It'll just be pass or fail, so just wanted to make that aware.
Are there any further announcements? Senator Shipp.
Okay, so hey y'all, I just want to make an announcement for next Wednesday, the 27th. We're doing another Women's First Free Month event from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Red Raider Plaza, along with around the free speech area. There's going to be some merchandise vendors. There's going to be jewelry, clothing, pottery. There's going to be some live music outside and other female student organizations tabling, including SGA, so y'all should check that out.
Thank you, Senator Shipp. Senator Diaz.
Hey y'all, in partnership with HSS, we're collaborating with Kennedy's Kids for Life. For some of you who may not know, Kennedy was she was a teenager from the Lubbock area. She is from Sundown, not too far from here. She unfortunately passed away January 2023 from a rare brain cancer that has only been found with her in a minor. It's usually only found in adults. So HSS has partnered up with Kennedy Kids for Life for a charity basketball tournament on April 6th. I do know that we have other service events going on that day, but it does go a little bit farther than SGA service events. So if you guys want to volunteer or know of anyone who wants to participate in the basketball tournament or wants to volunteer, please let me know. All the proceeds we're getting are going to her foundation. Her parents started it in her name. She really was into basketball, into Jordans, so now what they do, they give Jordans to cancer patients, just because most of the cancer donations tend to be a little bit on the kiddie side. So kind of those higher teenagers weren't really getting too much on their end, so they're actually doing that on their part. So if anyone wants to volunteer or has any group who wants to form a team or anything, please reach out to me.
Thank you. Senator Thurman.
So at the beginning of Senate, Leader Joel talked a little bit about Green Week. There is a lot of stuff that we're going into planning right now, but if you'd like to help out with that, just let us know. And then also if you have, we're going to do like a clean fashion day on the first day of the week, and if you have any people that you may know of that have clean, sustainable fashion brands that they would like to put up in the free speech area or set up, please let me know. You can email me, DM me, and or come up to me and I will give you all my information. So just let me know if you have anything.
Thank you. Senator Okumu.
Well, if any of you know kids 9 to 11th grade who would be interested in summer camp running through June 3rd to 7th, we are interested on architecture design. Please, we can send you the link, and you can send pass the message to people around the Lubbock, because this is a Lubbock event, and we're trying to work with other colleges to see how we can get more kids into architecture.
Thank you. Senator Sestak.
Hey everyone, so next week we will be having our Housing Caucus meeting. So for anyone that needs pieces of legislation, ideas, there's plenty of problems with housing, so we are here to fix them, and so we would love your help and a little bit of perspective on what our students in housing are facing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further announcements? One more, just as a reminder, I do have the lapel pins. If you're a new senator, please come up to grab one. And then also, please remember to check the email that I send out tomorrow. Everything that our executive officers have talked about, it has all the links to sign up there. So please continue to check that diligently. And with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjourn. Senator Orr.
I motion to adjourn.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Harris that we adjourn this meeting. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. We are now adjourned.